All right, guys, what is going on? We are back with another episode of Armbars and Suplexes. I am your host, Alec Miller, here with my main man right here, Jesus. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man? Another week, another episode podcast to talk all this MMA, football. I mean, you name it, we're ready.
Yeah, man, we got a big week coming up this week, and big things happened this past weekend. So it's one of those packed shows, jam packed shows, and those are always a good time when we have a lot of stuff to talk about. And
Yeah,
let me just make sure that I put in the chat. I mean, on Twitter that we are live, so people can join.
Angel, what's up, man?
What's up, Angel? Hey, dogs, get away! Sorry, they were fighting. Um, yeah, man, what's going on, Angel? We're gonna be getting to your question pretty soon. Right now, thank you for subscribing again. And before I forget, make sure you guys go into the link in the description down below for our Patreon, and you can subscribe to the $1, the $3, or the $5 tier. It just helps us get this show on to more bigger and better things. So make sure you guys do that if you can, and if you can't, just share this link. Let people know that this is where they can get their wrestling and MMA shows, MMA, info and talk and all that good stuff, and also to we talk about other stuff, sports and movies and all that stuff, which is we're gonna get into right now.
Absolutely, man. We want to grow the community and the following. We're slowly creeping up on our views on YouTube, which I think is a phenomenal thing. We
Yes.
were at a point on the SoundCloud, which we're still trying to get back on SoundCloud, and we'll get that figured out or ironed out here soon
Mhm.
enough. But yeah, man, we wanted to just continue to grow and have more people so we can share our passion, which is arm bars and suplexes. And on top of that, the little stuff that we sprinkle in where it's music, movies, and just overall geek stuff.
Yeah, so we're gonna be trying to do that, and some stuff behind the scenes going on. But like you said, we're just trying to put out some good content for everybody to watch and to enjoy. And everyone seems to be liking it so far, so I'm happy for that. Like you said, the views are going up. We got a new logo. I don't know if you saw that in the thumbnail, which is pretty cool. I actually really like seeing that. So you don't just see the generic whatever logo they have whenever you post a video.
Yeah, shout out the guy who did it for us, man.
Yes,
What
his
his
name
name?
is Subrath. I know him through different online communities where he runs a debate league where so there's a bunch of divisions. You have a movie division, you have a movie division called Movie Battleground, a sports division called Sports Brawl, a wrestling division called Chokeslam.
Oh,
You
nice.
have the nerd fights, which is like geeky stuff, anime, comics, sci-fi, and all that good stuff. And then there's one more. I'm trying. Late TV fights, which is like television. So basically, you get when you get put with a match, you pick two categories, and your opponent will pick two categories. Those will be your four questions. They'll pull them up. You'll give your answers. They'll give their answers, and then wait in them. Get all your get all your info ready, and debate. And it's actually a lot of fun. I've done a few of them now. I've done a nerd fights. I've done a couple sports brawl ones. So I'm doing a wrestling one pretty soon. So I gave my answers for the wrestling one already. So
Pretty dope,
that's
man.
really
So
fun.
thank you, man. To Sue, is it Sue Brath?
Subrath, yes, Subrath. And then check out his stuff on TMG Entertainment is where all the debate leagues. And if you want to join the leagues, go to Facebook, go to TMG Entertainment, and you can actually join the leagues. It's a lot of fun, guys. If you like to argue and debate, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, there's nobody that likes to do that, man. That's a very small subset
Yeah,
of the Twitter
uh,
community and wrestling and MMA community. Nobody likes to do
that's true.
that.
That's true. No one gets into heated arguments on the internet. That's insane.
It's insane.
That's ridiculous. All right. All right, man. So, how was your week? Your weekend? How did it go? Talk to me.
Ooh, man. I mean, jam packed weekend, man. I can tell you, my weekend started on Friday, early Friday. I actually got a chance to go watch a movie at the theaters this weekend. I went to go see Bad Boys 3.
Ooh, Bad Boys for Life.
Yes, man, for life. And
How'd you
man,
like it?
Well, I mean, it's so funny, dude. I don't know. I think I've shared this story with you before, where about 11 years now, when I was at the bank, when I was working at the bank, I had an older a coworker, and he actually became a good friend. And that's when Expendables came out, and
Hmm.
he was so pumped about that movie and about Sylvester Stallone, and I'm looking at him as a younger guy, and I'm like, dude, like this movie's so whack, like Sylvester Stallone is so old, like why are you gonna go see it? And he was so pumped and jazzed, and I kind of robbed that away from him.
Yeah,
And that's kind of how I feel about Bad Boys. I'm so pumped and so jazzed about it because I grew up on Bad Boys,
absolutely.
and so I saw it, and I mean I enjoyed it, man. It's the same type of comedy and fun and action all rolled into one. I was like, man, I feel like if it would have been a different time, they would have kind of tried to make it into a fast franchise,
Yeah.
the Bad Boys franchise, but it didn't work out that way, and these guys are a lot older, and but it was good, man. It was really good. It's also breaking all kinds of records for January,
Hmm.
uh, because it came out in January. But it's well worth it. Like it's not like a gimmick. It's not. There's a lot of cliched parts in there, but they make fun of them. But it's a good movie if you want to have a fun time and laugh and have some action thrown in there.
Yep.
It's pretty good, man. I recommend
I'm,
it.
I'm excited to check that out. I am a huge Bad Boys 2 fan. I like Bad Boys 1. It's good, but Bad Boys 2 is where it's at. And when people like when movie critics shit on it, I just like you're ridiculous. That movie's hilarious.
Well,
It's Michael Bay at his peak. Mwah.
well, yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Like part three, it's a movie, so there's a lot of obviously crazy stuff going on with it, and a lot of really like a lot of twists and turns associated with it. I like Bad
Hmm.
Boys 2. I prefer Bad Boys 1 just because it's the OG, the original. I still like
Hmm.
Bad Boys 2,
Yeah.
but it was interesting because if I remember correctly, Bad Boys 1 was the beginning of yeah, I think it was of Will Smith's 4th of July holiday takeover for those three
Oh, really?
years. Yeah, and at that time, Martin Lawrence was the bigger actor than
Hmm.
Will Smith from a movie standpoint. He was the big guy. He was Blue Streak and what was it? Was it Big Mama's House? What was it called? What was the other one
Probably
that
Big
he?
Mama's house. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was really big, and Will Smith was still big, but not as big. But that started. It was that one,
I think
and
he
then
only had Independence Day.
Independence Day, and then Men in Black, and then
There you go.
he
Yeah.
followed that up with the dud with Wild Wild West, when he could have been Neo. He could have been Neo, but
I think I like who we got as Neo though.
yeah, I mean,
That movie works
it,
with Keanu.
yeah, it does. It actually does, and I think Will Smith has said that to the effect that he would have played it completely different
Yeah.
from how Keanu played it. But still, it leaves it. You kind of want to see how that would have happened if the biggest star at that time, which was Will Smith, would have done
Yeah.
Neo. How either much bigger would it, because it was already huge, but how much bigger could it have been, or would it have been a dud? I don't know. We'll see.
All
We
those
we
what
will
ifs.
never see, but we would want to see it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Hopefully I get to check that out kind of soon. I know I'm gonna start my at least I'm gonna try. I'm gonna attempt to start my Oscar viewing where I start
Oh
watching some of
yeah,
the Oscar movies before at least a couple. Like I know I definitely gotta catch Parasite. I
that's
definitely
such a good movie, man.
yeah, and I definitely gotta catch 1917.
Mhm.
That's a big leader in the race, and there's one more that I really want to see. Um, I think it's not Two Popes. God damn it. Um, Jojo Rabbit. I got to see Jojo Rabbit.
So I'm going again on Friday, and it's between 1917 and Birds of Prey because it
Hmm.
comes out this
Oh, that's
weekend.
right. Yeah, yeah,
But my brother is really pushing hard. I think there's only like one theater showing Jojo Rabbit, if they're still showing it. But he saw Jojo Rabbit, and he said it was a really really good movie.
yeah. Hmm.
And my brother's usually really hard on movies overall. Like it's hard for him to say anything positive about anything. He would just be like, "It's all right, it's
Yeah,
okay." So for him to say it's a really good movie, I kind of want to see it, man. So I don't know, man. I might try to figure out if I can go watch Jojo Rabbit or maybe 1917, or I don't know if I just go with the dumb fun stuff like Birds of Prey again.
yeah. Like I said, I'm actually excited for Birds of Prey 2. I wasn't. I didn't care for and really any of the trailers. Trailers are fine. They didn't get me excited. The only thing that has me excited about that movie really was Margot Robbie because I'm in love with Margot Robbie. But her as Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is amazing. She's really great as Harley Quinn. So that was the only reason. Also, Ewan McGregor because I love Ewan McGregor. But I've heard positive things. All you got was tweets because they still haven't lifted the embargo yet. The review embargo. See, they were only allowing your initial thoughts. So I know there'll probably still be more coming out tonight.
It's tomorrow. Tomorrow is lifted. Yeah, Wednesday. Okay. It's usually the Wednesday before, but if it's really positive, they do it a week before just to build up more buzz. So that kind of, I mean, I've been hearing a lot of positive stuff about it from the little sources that I do have. But I don't like it when they don't let the embargo up until Wednesday.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So before we jump into our patrons' question of the week, he also does get a shout out. So he wanted to shout out. He decided to use his shout out on his brother Jeremy. I know his brother. I've known him for a long time too. Let me just pull it up. What he wanted me to say about it. 1 second. All right. He just said, shout out for his brother Jeremy. He just got 12 years in prison. He just wants everyone to pray for him and hope that he stays out of trouble and nothing happened to him. That's all. He's just praying for his safety. So send your prayers out to someone I've known for a long time. It's unfortunately going to be gone for a long time. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm sure if Angel wants to share that, he'll share that. But yeah, so just a little shout out for Jeremy.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, people make mistakes, one way or another. Sometimes they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. But yeah, definitely shout out and safety to everybody's family, man.
Yeah, stay safe. And then let's jump into the question of the week. So basically, if you know Angel, this is how he phrases it. Why do the 49ers suck? I decided to reword it and say, what did the 49ers do wrong? Why did they lose that game? And I think both of us have a lot to say on this. Who did you pick again? Just to recap. You picked the Chiefs? Okay, so you won. I lost. I did pick the 49ers. I want to start out. Yeah. I'm getting my predictions back this week.
I don't know about that one.
Get my predictions, but I might go for some crazy ones this week.
You're not gonna be me in my hometown. It's your hometown too.
I know. But I think I'm gonna go with some because I gotta try and get the win. I gotta go with some crazy stuff. I can't always win based on one or two fights that we have different.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So I gotta go a little crazy. I might go a little crazy this week. You'll hear it later on in the preview. So yeah, let's jump into the game. I want to start off saying, first of all, congratulations to the Chiefs. This was a great game. This was definitely a great game. From start to finish, a lot happened. You got to see just how good that San Francisco defense really is.
Yep.
They made Patrick Mahomes look mediocre for 3 quarters. But then all of a sudden, all the thing about Patrick Mahomes is he only needs 1 quarter, not even a full quarter, really. He just needs about a good 10 minutes, and he'll get you back in the game. And that's exactly what he did. All 3 playoff games, he basically had comebacks. So down 24-0 against the Texans, comes back to win. Down, I think it's 17-7 against the Titans, came back to win that game, and now down 20-10, comes back and win this game. So. He's the youngest quarterback to ever have a Super Bowl, to play in the Super not to play in the Super Bowl, but win an MVP, play in the Super Bowl, or win a Super Bowl, and to have a Super Bowl MVP. So I think there's no denying that this man is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league right now. He's the best. He's probably one of the best in the league right now. He has a lot of weapons. But he also makes a lot of throws that are kind of crazy. He shouldn't be throwing it across the body as much as he should, as you kind of saw, and makes a lot of crazy throws, as you can actually saw a couple of times in there through 2 interceptions. But I think a lot of the blame has to go on Kyle Shanahan. I think we got to start looking at Kyle Shanahan and thinking he's already had 2 Super Bowls in a row that he's lost while up ahead. Don't forget 28-3 against the Patriots when he was with the Falcons here in Houston.
Yeah, but he was a OC.
He was the coordinator, but he was calling the plays. You got to go. I have to look at the play caller because it came down to he likes to throw the ball, when you, I kind of, I can
which
see it,
it's not. I mean, no. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, but no, he likes to throw the ball when he's ahead, which is
which is the
completely.
worst thing you can do.
It's asinine, dude. It's completely asinine and ass backwards, and it's just so frustrating.
And think about who he had over there in that Falcons team. He had Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman
Which is ridiculous.
running the ball.
And and
And
and they had monster years, both of them that year, dude.
yes, granted, this is where I don't forgive him for this one as much as I do that one against the Patriots, because fine, I'm not saying he should have done this, but it was Matt Ryan's MVP year. If you want to put it in your quarterback's hands, I get it. You shouldn't, but I get it. This one, why are you putting the ball in Garoppolo's hands? Like, you have Mostert the week before played like a monster. What, 220 yards in that game against the Packers?
Mm-hmm.
This game, he didn't even. I don't even think he touched the ball. He wasn't even the starter.
He wasn't. He wasn't a factor.
And then how do you, like, I don't understand how you do that. You put the ball in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands. If anyone's if you look at anyone in this game, it's Kyle Shanahan that I think the fault has to come on. And even though you're in the Super Bowl, you, in my eyes, you have, if you do this again in the next year, or you don't fix your play calling, we're gonna have a problem. If I'm the owner.
There's so much. Well, hold on. There's so much to extrapolate from that, as far as, and the thing is, I want to answer the question too. Why do they suck so much, right? Because that's the question. I know you try to.
Which in reality, they don't suck that much.
No, they suck. They suck.
They don't. We're using hyperbole.
If you're not first, you're last. That's all I gotta say.
Wrong. If you don't get an A, you get an F.
And that's what I'm saying. So a couple of things, man. Also, one thing you didn't mention about the Chiefs is they're, I think, the first team in history to come back from 3 playoff games in a row with down 10 points or more.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
No, you said.
I just said that they had come back.
But it's the first time in history, I think, that anybody's ever done that, and that speaks a couple things. Like, this is not the juggernaut Chiefs, that we saw like a year and a half ago or something like that, where they were just
last year.
Yeah, last year basically, where they were, damn it, where they were just steamrolling people like this year's Ravens after week 3, I think it was. This wasn't that. These guys were flawed. The thing about it is that they had more pieces, and also they had a coach who knows how to get the most out of his team and also make adjustments.
So, this was actually a team that was a favorite in the beginning of the season and then kind of disappeared. Like, people stopped talking about the Chiefs.
They lost to the Texans, dude.
After that loss to the Colts and the Texans, I think they just, like, kind of, people had them in the back of their mind. They weren't thinking about them, and
Mahomes was injured, and they didn't know when he was going to be back or if he was going to be 100%. And I'll give this too. Like, I'll give a lot of credit to Mahomes. Everybody loves Mahomes. I agree too. I mean, he's exciting to watch. All his crazy plays. It's like he's in the backyard and just, playing backyard ball, which is awesome, at that level. But also, man, it has to do with Andy Reid and the plays that he calls and how he calls the game.
The enemy too.
Bieniemy, yeah, I got to give him credit because they were having issues. They were having issues with the pressure. Mahomes was having issues with it. Like you said, San Francisco, their defense was really good and showed up and made him look mortal. But it's not just him; it's the play calling and the scheme. And then once they figured it out, and San Francisco got tired, which also goes to why they suck, because Shanahan was throwing instead of running and just 3 and outs, was not giving his defense time to rest, and it wore them out for the fourth quarter, and they were able to take advantage. So it all like works together. Like, Shanahan screwed up, the play calling was screwed up, they went 3 and out, that screwed up the defense, and the defense screwed up because they were tired, and then Andy Reid adjusted, and then Patrick Mahomes executed. And that's what it comes down to. So you mentioned that ownership for San Francisco, man. San Francisco's happy, dude. So, one of the big fans that called into the local radio station here talked about how he was okay with it because he feels like, and he's a Houston guy, but he just loves the 49ers for some reason. He said a lot of those. he likened the 49ers this year in the Super Bowl to the 2015 Astros when they were ahead of schedule and they went to the playoffs and they lost to the eventual World Series champion, the Kansas City Royals. And they just didn't have it, but we were happy because they were ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
And that's what he says, that San Francisco's ahead of schedule. They were, in their mind, they were supposed to be there in a year or two, and they were there this year. So as far as fans goes, I think, and I think that most of them will say that they're happy about it. The owner said before the game that he's extending both John Lynch and Shanahan because I think they only have 3 years left on their deals, or on their original 6-year deals. So they're going to get extended. And I don't blame them. I mean, they came up short.
Let me say something real quick because, like you said, like I agree that that's probably not a bad idea because if that last pass, one of those last passes that Garoppolo missed on Emmanuel Sanders, that was a touchdown.
Yes.
If he hits him, all is forgiven.
Not only that, but there was another play where I think it was Clark batted it down. And if he makes that play, that first of all, that's a first down. And that gets them down to about 6.5 minutes instead of 7 minutes or more that they had because of that 3 and out.
Yeah,
that's a big deal. And that's like, I mean, yeah, you know,
he batted it, but you know he's that big. Like,
yeah, it's kind of both. It's kind of like a 50-50, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this too, though. Shanahan does not trust Garoppolo. Garoppolo is a game manager, if that. I mean, the end of the first half, dude, the mismanagement as far as the time and the timeouts, and granted, Shanahan gave a really good answer, like a better answer than I've ever seen from a coach. Unlike what Bill O'Brien says, we didn't have a play for fourth down.
I need to be better.
Yeah, or I need to be better. That's on me. That's on me. No, he said the reason he handled the end of that half the way he did was because he didn't want to mess up and go 3 and out or whatever and give the Chiefs the ball back with some time on the clock.
Yeah.
So it's a purposeful or intentional mismanagement of the clock. And he didn't. I mean, and he almost hit on it because he threw that ball to Skittles, whatever his name is.
Skittles.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just, they're saying that he should have gotten a contract with Skittles.
He should.
And they called that push off, man. Which, I mean,
that's tough. I see it. I wouldn't have called it, but it is the rule.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like there's a side by side between the Kittles play and the Rudolph play.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's the same thing. And one they call it and one they don't. One's in the end zone, and one's in the middle of the field, and they call it in the middle of the field. I just want consistency. That's all I want, because to me that was a catch. That was an awesome catch that put some juice in the game. Like, oh man, these guys are gonna get 3 before and then they're gonna get the ball after. Like, it puts some more pressure. And then they call it back, man. And I didn't like that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain plays that they break for San Francisco. We're having a different story here,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not wrong. And I think that's what made it a great game, though. Like, it could have went either way. I will say thank you, Damian Williams, for scoring that last touchdown, because my girlfriend won $200 on our squares because of that.
Oh, nice, dude. I thought, I know it's so stupid though. I thought he was MVP, man.
Yes, thank you. That's exactly what I said.
He was toting the rock. How do you pull off that run at the end when it's single high safety and they're crowding the box, and he goes out on the outside on the left hand side and just scoots and they can't catch him?
Thank you.
He was just making play after play.
Mm-hmm.
He was not going to be denied. I liked him. He was wearing the Jordans. He was representing for the Jordan culture. So, I mean, I thought and that's what I'm saying is, like, it's known, if a quarterback has an average game in the Super Bowl, they're the MVP. No, man. No, you're not going to give Trim Dilfer the MVP. You're not going to give game managers. And don't get me wrong.
They didn't even give Brady the MVP last year. They gave it to Edelman.
Mahomes didn't have a bad game. He didn't have a great game. He didn't have a great game. He had he had a pick, right? He had a pick and he had 2 picks.
Mm-hmm.
He had 2 picks and he had 200 and I don't think he got to 300 yards, right? Like 287 or something like that. I gotta look it up.
Something like that. Around that.
and the thing is, he led him on the comeback, but a lot of that too was Damian Williams on the ground, dude. Without him, giving them that mix of you have to be careful and you have to, make sure that you're thinking about the run, the throws don't open up.
Yeah,
So
no,
I don't know. I thought he was MVP, man. That's just my opinion.
same here, bud. Same here, man. I when they named Mahomes MVP, I was like, what? Why? Because he didn't impress me. Like he had a couple of throw. He had that. I will give him the 3rd and 15. That was great. Like that's a good throw. But I
Dude,
don't.
look at this. He went 26 of 42 for 286 passing yards.
That's not MVP, man. Like
What is that? What's the percentage on that? What is that? 26. 61% pass accuracy or completions. I mean, that's not good, dude. That's not like
look at Damian Williams. At least I have one thing right here is he scored 2 touchdowns yet on Sunday. He
yeah.
had the one he had the one rushing, which was the one that got my girlfriend $200, and the receiving one. I'm trying to see if I can find. I don't know why this stupid thing brought up this stupid stat.
One thing too, real quick, man. Just sneak in while you're doing that.
Go for it,
man. I kind of felt bad before the game when they announced that LaShawn McCoy wasn't going to dress, that he was inactive.
Yeah,
and that the reason Andy Reid gave was because he wanted another defensive back or linebacker or defensive back or linebacker. He said or something. And man, like I had LaShawn McCoy for fantasy football this year. And there was a 3-game stretch where he saved them, dude. When Williams was down and hurt, and they didn't have anybody else, and he had a couple big plays that actually won the game for him. I think in 2 weeks in a row where he won the game for him by the plays that he made. And it just sucks because he's gonna get his ring, but he didn't participate in the actual game, dude, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to pull up the box score right now so I can see exactly how many yards was his name had. More about this game.
Man,
all right, so I have the Chiefs. So Damian Williams had 17 carries for 104 yards.
Dude.
1 rushing touchdown. Mahomes had the other rushing touchdown. And then he had 29. He had 4 catches for 29 yards with 1 touchdown. So this man had 2 yards. This man had 2 yards, almost the same amount as
over 6 yards per carry is what he was averaging. 6.11 yards per carry.
Yeah, man. So I would have given him the.
Well, how many total yards did they have? So he had 104 rushing, and then how much did he have receiving?
He had 29 receiving.
Okay, so 133. What was their total yards for the game?
Total yards. Dang it, they don't have it here. Hold on. Man, this box score is the worst. Let me see. Final box score analysis. All right, so why does anybody have the damn stats that I need when I need them? Oh my god. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Dead air, I guess.
Hold on. We're going to get it.
Yeah, we're going to get it, guys. We're going to get it. Let's see. Statistics. All right. Total yards. Got it. 397 yards total for the Chiefs. Dude,
he had 33% of their total yards was Damian Williams. 1/3 of their offense. 1/3 of their offense, dude, was Damian Williams.
Yeah, I would have given. I think it's just because it's Mahomes. It's the sexy pick. You got to give Mahomes.
It's the quarterback, man. It's the quarterback. Yeah. It's kind of hard to argue, but still.
It's not hard to argue, though. Like I feel like Damian Williams had a bigger impact on this game, and that when I think of MVP, I think of biggest impact on the game. If Williams isn't running the way he's running that game, and Mahomes is playing the way he is playing, that's a whole different game. San Francisco is they're gonna be doing multiple 3-and-outs, and San Francisco just kind of will pull ahead. I think
the argument is without Damian Williams, do they have the same percentage chance to win as if you didn't have Patrick Mahomes?
I don't.
And the answer is on the other side of the ball. On the other side of the field, which is the 49ers, you don't have Patrick Mahomes. You have Jimmy Garoppolo,
Hmm.
and he wasn't able to make plays when they needed to. I
Yeah,
mean,
dude.
that's the bottom line.
I'm always going to go back to that throw to Emmanuel Sanders. If he hits that throw, we're talking about. I think it's over. I think the game's over. I think the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl. But
And
he missed that throw, and that's a tough throw, but that's a throw every quarterback I think needs to make.
dude, for the first 3 quarters, I thought the MVP was gonna be number 44, the
The
fullback.
fullback scored
Yes,
a
dude.
touchdown.
He scored two. He scored two
That's true.
touchdowns.
That's true. That's true.
And
Uh,
he had another play too where he blocked uh and it was a big gain. Let me see who it was. But go ahead, man.
oh man, I'm just gonna keep saying what I'm saying. I think if you're getting paid that much, Garoppolo, you got to make that throw. I'm gonna stick on that, and then um, I hope this taught Kyle Shanahan a lesson of when you're ahead, just run the ball, man. Just
Well,
run
dude,
the ball.
the other thing about that is this is what the second time the 49ers have gone to the Super Bowl in what the past 10 years.
Yep, because they went and had probably played better when Kaepernick was their quarterback.
And they would have won that game had the lights not gone out. And I'll stick to that. I mean, they had all the juice, man, and then the lights went out, and I just after
It
that
got
they came
cold.
back. Yeah, they came back, and it wasn't the same team, man. So that sucks to be a 49ers fan, man. I mean, I didn't have any really dog in this race. I just wanted the Chiefs to win for
Hmm.
Andy Reid, honestly. Kyle Shanahan is a lot younger. He has more time, and
Hmm.
he's proven that he's a good coach, so he's going to have more opportunities. But Andy Reid is up there, and he had that opportunity in Philadelphia, and it didn't kind of come to fruition. He went up against the machine of the Patriots, and they took advantage. And I don't think T.O. was 100% that game.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
But everyone was raving about Andy Reid. I know T.O. said on Undisputed that was his favorite coach he's ever played for. Same with, or Michael Vick said something similar, that like that's one of the best coaches he's ever played for. So people spoke highly of Andy Reid. He always had that monkey on his back because of that Philadelphia Super Bowl. But he's got it off his back. Now he can just move forward and keep
yeah,
killing
man.
it with Mahomes, and they are the favorites to win the Super Bowl next
Well,
year.
dude, I was getting upset when they were like some pundits were talking about that he needed the win to cement his legacy and be a Hall of Famer. And I'm like, man, if he loses, it doesn't matter. That dude's a Hall of Famer. He had like 5 straight years or 4 straight years of going to the NFC Championship game with
Hmm.
McNabb, and that's not easy to do, man, by any stretch. So I've always thought he was a good coach. I'm glad he got his ring. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer. He was a Hall of Famer before. And like you said, dude, Mahomes is 24 years old, dude, and they got
24.
and they got nothing but more wins ahead of them. So I guess the question would be too, and I'll ask you, and I'll tell you how I think about it. But is this the beginning of a dynasty, or is it like, okay, it's they got theirs and now it's going to be difficult for them to get back to the top?
This might be the beginning of a dynasty. They are gonna have some. They are gonna have some people that are gonna be in front of them. I believe San Francisco will be back there again. Um, you got teams like, who knows? I'm interested to see season 2 with Rogers and what the hell's his name? Um, Lefleur.
Lefleur.
Matt Lefleur. Interested to see that. Um, and on the AFC side, Lamar Jackson's coming. Who knows? If Tom Brady goes to LA, like I'm thinking the Chargers. Who knows? Um,
I mean, there's I think there's so much like, what is Drew Brees going to be?
Drew Brees. There's a lot of questions, man. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of questions in the NFC. Mike McCarthy in Dallas. How's that going
how's
to go
that going to
down?
look?
Is
Can
is
Deshaun win in spite of Bill O'Brien? That's what I'm. But I mean, he wins games. He won 10 games, and there's no way that we should be. I predicted us
man?
to be 8-8 this year.
I've been thinking. This is what I've been thinking about, man, and I want to see your thoughts on it. And I don't know. Maybe it's from left field, but how many wins did we get with Brian Hoyer, or with what's that other guy's name?
Matt, no.
what's the guy's name? TJ Yates and like the
No, what's that dude's name? Ryan Mallett.
Ryan Mallett. Like
Ryan Mallett.
didn't O'Brien get like 10 wins with them?
He might have gotten 9 with Hoyer.
Okay, so he got 9 with Hoyer.
But the year after with Hoyer, I think he did bad. That's when that was our 2-14 season.
I know, but what I'm saying is, you know, with Watson, the best we've done is what? 11?
Didn't we win? No. How many games did we win last year?
I thought it was 11, wasn't it?
Was it 11? It might have been 11.
It might have even been 10 because we fell out. We had an opportunity to be a 2 seed, and let me see Texas record.
I just think that this is a better quarterback.
They went 10-6.
10-6 with
10-6 with us with Deshaun Watson this year, and they got 9 with Hoyer. I mean,
I said 10. I meant last year. How many wins did we get? We got 10.
Well, I know. I think we went to the 6 last year too. What I'm saying is, Bill O'Brien's always said we need a quarterback. Well, we got our quarterback, and the best that we can do with Deshaun Watson as a legitimate quarterback is 1 win better than an also ran and Brian Hoyer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like at some point, Deshaun Watson needs to be. And again, I don't like. I feel like we're a little bit over, pushing over on it's Bill O'Brien's fault. And I'm not saying, that it's all Watson's fault either. I'm saying Watson does have some of that blame as well, where he needs to be better than 10-6, man. He's so basically is he 1 game better than Brian Hoyer? I don't think anybody would say
no. He's way better.
Yeah, he's way better. He's way better. So we need to be way better on the record as well. But
I think if we had lost, I think what he needs to do is he needs to play better in playoff games, especially because that first half against the Bills that's ridiculous. That should not be happening. And then how do you not score you don't score anything else in that
against the Chiefs, dude? Against the Chiefs, dude. That's what's frustrating, man. He's inconsistent for whole games at a time, and you can say, well, the play calling this, but man, they were pretty aggressive, man, against the Chiefs, man. They were trying to throw the ball. I think he was holding on to it too long too, but that's what I'm saying. Like at some point, Watson has to deliver, man, and he has to prove that he's better than 1 game, better than Hoyer, than a Hoyer, in the same system with the same coach and a better line. I mean, he has a better line than Hoyer had, and I don't think anybody would argue that, dude.
We've always had a bad line, but Hoyer had Dwayne Brown,
and then first of all, he had Dwayne Brown. He also had, I think, Derek Noon at some point, and he had what's the other guy's name? But
all those guys.
But all those guys got hurt. All those guys got hurt that year, including the double knee blowout for Derek Newton. So he had rotational guys in there like Greg Mance and some other guys in there, but they weren't good, man. They were not. They weren't better than this past year. I could tell you that much.
I think that if what's his name, if freaking if Titus Howard didn't get hurt, I think that would have been a different line. The left side would have been, or the right side would have been a lot better, because I think that is the problem with that line right now, with him being gone, with Titus Howard being gone. That really hurt, because I think that line was starting to play a lot better before he went down. That Tunsil, Sharping, who in the world is that center? Why do I always forget? Is it Matt?
Martin.
Nick Martin. There you go. Nick Martin. And then Titus Howard, and we always mix a guy. Like, was it Clark or something?
Clark's track. He cannot be on the team next year, man.
No, I think that we have, because we have 2 first rounders, and we have 2 third rounders. I think next year. So a second rounder.
No first. We don't have a second rounder.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
All the mock drafts I've seen that take into account drafts, I've seen that the Texans have a second runner. So hold on.
That's the one that we traded, dude.
Hold on. Well, then I need to hit up some mock draft people and let them know, hey, your mock draft's wrong. Because yeah, like I got one here. It says the second pick, number 57. Let me see. How many draft picks do the Texans have? They have a second rounder. They have a third.
See, that's wrong right there too, because we have 2/3, and it says we only have 1/3.
We have a compensatory pick, don't we? For either Kareem Jackson or Tyrann Mathieu.
No, for
HoustonTexans.com.
We're gonna.
Yeah, the second overall. I mean, you have a second round, 57th overall, third round, 90th overall, fourth rounder, fifth rounder, seventh rounder. So we do have a second rounder. This is from HoustonTexans.com, as early as January 14th, from Drew Doherty himself. So I'm gonna take his. I'm gonna take.
Yeah, we do. I'm looking at it right now. What I was thinking of is we have 3 third rounders. We have our own. We're gonna get one for Matthew, and we're gonna get one for Kareem Jackson.
Yeah. He just doesn't have it here because they haven't set the compensatory picks yet. But yeah, once the compensatory picks come out, we're gonna get one for Kareem and for Tyrann Mathieu because those are 2 really big hits to our team. I think Kareem Jackson was more of a hit than Tyrann Mathieu was. I didn't love Tyrann Mathieu with us. I think he had a sideline thing. He's very good on the sideline, but when it came to, there were so many plays that he missed, that he whiffed on last year, that I was okay to see him walk. Not for the price that he was asking for.
Yeah, so the Texans have 5 picks in the first 4 rounds, but not in the first.
Better get a right guard.
I mean, dude, they need corners. Roby's not. I mean, Roby we need to sign, but I don't know if we are going to sign him. We just have so many holes right now, man.
Sign Roby. Like you said, sign Roby.
They're going to sign Hargraves. They said that already.
Who do you like better, Conley or Hargraves? That's interesting because both.
That's a good point, but I'm going to lean on Conley.
The same here.
The only reason why though is Hargraves has baggage, but from the reason why Bill O'Brien said he's going to sign him already is because he loves his work ethic. So apparently he's been a hard practicer. Mm-hmm. We're practicing hard here with the Texans, where that's the reason he got cut in Tampa Bay because he couldn't practice over there. He didn't want to practice, or he wasn't taking it serious. So I don't know, man, and I didn't even know if that's the right decision, man. Like, I don't want to give those guys a lot of money.
Is Conley still under contract this year?
Yeah, he has one more year because
on his rookie deal, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm okay with that. If it's a rookie deal, I have no problem with it.
I mean,
I don't know about signing Hargreaves. I think you got to put Roby above that.
I think we sign Roby. We get rid of Hargraves, and then we draft another cornerback, man, for the future. Because, and then how did Kevin Johnson do in Buffalo, man?
I don't think he did well.
I mean, he was their starter, man, and Buffalo had one of the best defenses in the league.
I mean, he was our starter too. Didn't mean shit.
Well, he stayed healthy with them, and he didn't with us.
Okay. I never liked Kevin Johnson. I think he was too. I always thought he was undersized. Here, I'm gonna look at him, see if I can get his stats for this year. So the Buffalo Bills, 16 games. He only started 1 game.
Kevin Johnson.
All right, so he had 25 total tackles, 11 tackle assists, 5 passes deflected, and that's it.
What was his grade?
I don't know. I just have the career stats right here. I just have his career stats and for year by year. And he had the Buffalo Bills. He had 16 games, but he only started 1 game. And then he has 25 tackles, 11 assists, 1 sack. So that's something I never would have thought I would have heard about him. He had 5 passes deflected, but no interceptions.
His overall grade was a 73.2.
That's not bad. It's a passing grade.
Yeah, I mean that's good for like your your third corner.
Yeah, and that's what he's always been to me. He's a nickel corner. He's not ever going to be your starter. And I think when you the mistake the Texans made is when you draft in the first. If you draft a corner in the first round, I'm not looking for a nickel corner. I'm looking for someone that can stay on the number one guy and travel with him, not just stay on him.
Well, dude, Roby had a 66.8 grade.
But Roby didn't start looking good until the end of the year. I will give you that. But I think he started to maybe started to gel a little bit more. So yeah, I think Conley and Roby, and then drafting a corner in that second round or the third round. You have three, like you said, you have 3 picks in the third round, so you might as well use one of them on a corner. Definitely need a lineman, and
dude, we need a rusher, man.
Definitely outside, either edge or a defensive end. Because I don't love our defense.
You think they're gonna try to do something with JJ's contract, man?
I think you ask him to restructure. Just try to get a restructure. I don't know, maybe change it up so you can have a little extra. Because I looked at the cap, we have $61 million in cap, but almost 30 of that is going to go to Deshaun.
Well, I mean, we want to sign him this year, but we don't have to sign him this year.
You don't have to, but the idea is you want to, or you have another Dak situation.
Yeah, dude. Man, this is so old.
I think Shannon Sharp said is that the franchise tag makes enemies.
Dude, we have to sign Tunsil. We have to sign Watson.
Yeah,
and we have to sign Bradley Roby if you want him. I mean, that's
what I'm saying. There's only 61 million. I think we're only gonna have 61 million in cap.
Yeah, man. I don't like this William O'Brien as a GM, but all right, man. We got off on a rant on the Texans again.
Yeah, he made a bunch of. And just last thing, it's because he made a bunch of win now moves, and the unfortunate thing is when you do a bunch of win now moves, but you don't win now, it puts you in a hole.
Well, I mean, it's all relative because you said they didn't win now, but according to Cal McNair, they gave us what we deserve as Texans fans.
He must think really low of us, though.
Huh? Yeah, exactly.
Really low of us.
Exactly, but their argument is going to be that they got us one game further in the playoffs than we've been by winning in the wild card round, and then being up 24-0 on the future Super Bowl champs. We should be happy with that. So I don't know, man. It's going to be tough being a Texans fan going forward with all the moves they made and how derelict the back of the roster is going to be just because of the picks that we don't have in the first round. And then also the ever-tightening budget or cap because they got to pay Deshaun a crap ton of money if they want to keep him. And they will because if not, they're going to be looked at as idiots.
Dude, they got to do it before Mahomes gets his, because then we're going to be competing with Mahomes.
No, I mean,
it's not about who's the better quarterback. It always comes down to who's next.
No, dude, like
that's why Matthew Stafford was always the highest paid quarterback.
No, that was a special circumstance too, because Detroit needed.
Look at it every year. Every year, a new quarterback is the highest paid player in the league. This past year, this past year it was Goff and Wentz and Russell Wilson. It just changed.
Okay, but look who you said. Goff, Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, trash.
Wentz. Did Wentz go to the Super Bowl too?
He didn't take them there.
Did.
He didn't take them there.
But he went. There. He went there. He played in it. Oh no, he got hurt, right? Did he get hurt?
He got hurt before the playoffs started.
Okay, either way, Wentz. And then who else did you say?
Wilson.
That's different. Wilson is a Super Bowl champ.
Wilson's the one that deserves it, is what I'm saying. Goff didn't deserve that. Look what he did this past year. It should change every year, man.
Yeah, but look at Kirk Cousins didn't get a ridiculous amount of money. Like, he got a ridiculous amount of guaranteed money, but he didn't get a number one quarterback in the world money. Garoppolo didn't get number one quarterback in the world money. So what I'm saying is
number one paid at that time. That's what you have to look at is because it's going to change every year, because every year the cap goes up.
It's always
the cap goes up. Every year that price tag's going to go up.
It's not now. No, dude, you can still get if they're not proven, they can still not be the highest paid.
They don't have
Like,
they don't have to be the highest paid, but you got to be in that ball. They're gonna always be in that ballpark. That's the problem. That's
yeah,
why.
yeah, but what I'm saying, like, I guess the argument that I'm saying is this: is people keep saying we got to sign Deshaun before they sign Mahomes. No, man, if Mahomes gets 50 million, and you think Deshaun's gonna say I'm worth 51 million?
That's different if it's 50 million.
Well, okay, well let's say whatever price.
That's a huge.
Let's say whatever price. Let's say what's the highest paid right now? 34 million, 35 million?
Hold on.
I think it's like 33, 34
Because
million.
it always literally goes up by 1 million, 2 million.
Yeah, but what is the argument from Deshaun Watson to give him 1 million more than Mahomes because you signed me later? No, Mahomes has a freaking Super Bowl championship and he has an AFC game where he went to where he got to the AFC championship game.
And I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm not saying that's actually logical thinking. The problem is that's not how it works in the NBA, in the NFL. It's always whoever is up next gets paid the next highest, and it's literally by a million or not even a million, probably like a couple thousand, but it always goes up to that. Like it's just like, hold on, I'm about to pull this up. Oh my God, get the hell up! All right,
look.
damn,
Highest paid quarterbacks in this year: Goff, Roethlisberger, Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo. And there's like a huge dude. There's a $10 million difference between Jared Goff and Jimmy Garoppolo.
It's because like look at the. So you said Russell Wilson 35, then it's Roethlisberger 34, Aaron Rodgers 33. Am I looking at the right year?
I'm looking at 2020. I'm looking for next year's salary, 2020.
Okay, let me do 2020. But then you got to also look year by year, like what's the jump. So like I think Carson Wentz got paid first at 32 million, and then Goff got the 33.5 million, and then I mean Rodgers always is going to get paid the highest. Kirk Cousins, I think, is the one that was like you said, Kirk Cousins and Jimmy Garoppolo and even Jacoby Brissett. I don't know how the hell Jacoby Brissett got that much money.
He's at 21.5 though for the year.
Hold on, why this stupid shit? Hold on,
I'm on overthecap.com.
Let me go there. Because I was on. All right. Jesus Christ, dude. Why are websites like this? They don't want me to look at their fucking website. Well, screw them. I don't know. Like I said, though, you know, that was the argument for. I think that they should the Cowboys definitely should have paid Dak what they wanted to pay him beforehand. Now they're gonna probably have to pay it because from what I heard, they're already having problems coming up with a price.
Well, he has all the leverage, man.
I know that's why they should have paid him last year before the price is going to jump up like it's about to jump up right now.
I don't think he would have took anything last year, man. I mean, he was what, second rounder or fourth rounder? What was he, second or fourth?
Could have paid him less though. Like now he proved what he had. This was his best year of his career.
Yeah, dude. So they're screwed, man. But I mean, I'm okay with that. I don't like Dallas having any kind of advantage. So
yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I want him to get his money though.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this UFC card. So, for people that don't know, UFC 247 is taking place here this weekend in Houston, Texas, at the Toyota Center. It's Jones versus Reyes. Undercard is Shevchenko versus Chikagian, and it's a pretty decent card. You know, there's a bunch of Houston guys on there. A bunch of Houston guys, a bunch of Texas guys that are here. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a pretty decent card.
Fighters, Texas fighters, because there's also some females.
Texas fighters, sorry, you're right. Texas fighters. So I'm looking at the entire card right now, starting at the early prelims here on UFC.com, where we have the first fight on the early prelims, a bantamweight fight. Andre Ewell taking on Jonathan Martinez. And the only thing I'm looking at Jonathan Martinez is I remember that nasty knockout he had against in his last fight. I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Against Ping Yuan Liu.
Yes. That crazy knockout at the end of the round. That was in I did believe that was the one in China. That was
Yes.
the night that Weili Zhang won the championship, and
Hmm.
it was an impressive knockout. It was crazy. He's won his last three. I can't go further than that. I don't know if he has more than three in the UFC, but he's on a 3-fight win streak going into this fight against Andre Ewell. I'm about to pull up Andre Ewell's information.
He lost to Marlon Vera last time by knockout.
Yeah,
And then before that, he beat Anderson Dos Santos by decision. So he's kind of, have some mixed results.
ups and downs, ups and downs.
I'm looking at Jonathan Martinez probably taking this one. He's a lot younger. He does have a reach disadvantage. So Ewell has a 5-inch reach advantage, but Martinez looks like a killer.
Yeah,
So
man, he looks like he can get in there and bang with the best of them. So I'm excited to see this fight. I think because of what Jonathan Martinez showed last time, I'm going to see if he can do that again.
I concur.
I think that's what most of us look forward to when you have a fighter that just had a really nice knockout. You're always wondering, can they go in there and do it again?
Yeah, you're always looking for it, like they're Johnny Walker or something, but not everybody's Johnny Walker.
No, they're not. I mean, I guess they could be if they want to, get beat pretty quickly in another fight.
Yeah, but you gotta give Johnny Walker credit for getting those two knockouts so close together, man. That's
I know.
pretty impressive.
I like Johnny Walker. I was cheering for Johnny Walker. I'm just jabbing. That's all. I think Johnny Walker's gonna come back. Sometimes guys need to be put down just to remember what it feels like and then have a good run.
They need to be humbled sometimes. They need to learn how to lose, so that they don't lose in the future.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, let's jump into the next fight. You have another bantamweight fight. 3 bantamweights on this early prelim card. So you have Domingo Pilarte taking on Jerry Newsom. I'm trying to think if I've seen these guys. I don't think I've seen either one fight, or I can't remember.
So Newsom last fought in June of last year, and he lost to Ricardo Ramos by decision.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that fight. I think it was a pretty close fight, if I recall correctly. So he's not a scrub by any stretch. And then Pilarte, let me see. The last time he fought, he lost to Felipe Colares. That was July of last year. I don't remember that fight. So both of these guys are coming off a loss in need of a win, so that they don't go losing the last two. They're both 30 years old. And they both have decent records, man. They're both 8-2, so they both need that win.
Yeah, this is see if we can get back on track and get back into winning shape, basically. So I don't really have a pick right now. I'll have to do a little bit more research probably on this one. What about you? You have a one that you're leaning towards?
No, I'm not leaning to anyone right now. I gotta do more research on it too. I don't want to give my picks away.
All right. You don't have to. All right. Next up, you have another. So this one I'm interested in seeing because I didn't get to see his last fight, and I'm always looking for looking to see the Dana White Contender Series guys. So we have Miles Johns taking on Mario Batista.
So Batista last fought in July of last year. He beat Jin Soo San by decision.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, he fought in January of last year, and he lost to Corey Sandhagen by submission. And we both know that Corey Sandhagen is not a joke.
Who doesn't lose to Corey Sandhagen?
Exactly. So he's only lost to a tough guy. And then we both know Miles John. We both like him. He's from the UFC Contender Series.
Yep.
He's a legit wrestler.
Yeah, he's a dominant wrestler, really. So his last fight, his UFC debut, he won by decision against what's his name?
Cole Smith. Yeah, that was a tough fight for him, man. And he really gutted that fight out, and he was really tired at the end of that fight, man.
Yeah, so that's he's got a gas tank. We know he's got a gas tank. A wrestler, a dominant wrestler. So I'm going to be leaning towards Miles Johns because I know that wrestlers do pretty well here in the UFC. I've learned that.
Yeah.
Is that if you got a wrestling background, you're in pretty good shape. So I think I'm going to lean towards Miles Johns.
Okay.
All right. Enough. Next up, flyweight division, women's flyweight division. Andrea KGB Lee taking on Lucky Lauren Murphy. So we have Andrea Lee, who her last fight, I believe she lost to JoJo Calderwood. Yes,
Mhm.
lost to Calderwood in the decision. Very close fight though. And then before that, beat Montana De La Rosa, beat Evan Smith. So pretty decent in 2019. Pretty decent. All decisions, but if I'm remembering correctly, she dominated against De La Rosa. I don't remember the Evan Smith fight, but that fight against Calderwood was really a war. Like they both were going at it. It was a split decision.
I
So
mean, it was a split decision, but I thought she lost, man. She
I
was,
think
she,
I think I agree with you.
she was taking like a harder beating, I guess, you know.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't want to be her in that fight.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think she lost too, but like I said, it was a close fight. I mean, it's like I said, split decision. We have
Mhm.
Lauren Murphy. Last fight in 2019 was against Romero Barella,
Mhm.
and she has the knockout win against her. But before that, she had taken some time off. It looks like she hadn't fought since 2016.
No, no, she fought in 2018 against Sijara Eubanks. She lost a unanimous decision.
Well, the UFC needs to fix their website.
Yeah, and then she beat Barb Honchak in 2017,
Okay.
and then she lost to Caitlin Chukugian in 2016. So
Hmm.
she's been alternating wins and losses in her past four. The last fight, I thought she was like in the Eubanks fight. I saw like she kind of gave up, so I thought she was done, and I thought she was gonna get beat by Berea. But Berea, and Berea's tough, dude. Like that's why I thought she was gonna win too. So the way she won and the way she kind of like looked more determined and like she wasn't there to play around, like she was there to win.
Hmm.
That tells me that this fight's gonna be a tough fight for KGB.
Yeah, I think I'm actually leaning towards Lauren Murphy in this fight, because of the fact that Andrea Lee, even though she's looked good in her fights, wins or losses, she just can't seem to get that finish. Whereas
Hmm.
Lauren Murphy has shown that she can get the finish, she can get the knockout when she needs to. So if it does go to a decision, if it goes past like maybe the first, maybe even if it goes into the third round, I might start leaning towards Andrea Lee. But to right now, I think I'm going to say Lauren Murphy.
And Lauren Murphy, is a veteran. There's also an age gap in this fight. Lauren Murphy's 36 and KGB just turned 30, I believe. So that also has something to do with it. Like you said, Andrea Lee hasn't shown that she's able to finish, so maybe she still needs to learn that. But I just think it's going to be a tough fight for her.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So next up, we have a welterweight fight: Alex Morono taking on Kalen Williams.
Callan Williams,
Kalen
Morono trains in Houston, I believe.
Oh, nice. All right, Houston, not doesn't live here, but trains here, so it's always cool. The Great White, Alex Morono. That's what it says right here. Uh,
Yeah,
so he's got a pretty good record. He's on 3-fight win streak right here that I have.
yeah, man. He's on a 3-fight win streak, and he's been beating people. Oh, look, he was born in Houston, Texas, so he's
Oh,
from
sweet.
Houston.
All right, got our first Houston guy, huh? It sounds
Yeah,
like.
yeah. So the last three fights, I mean, he lost to Jordan Main, and then after that, he's won three in a row. All three fights I picked against him, just because I thought the guys he was fighting were tougher and more well rounded and more seasoned, and he's beat all three of them. Decision, TKO, and the decision, and the Max Griffin decision. I mean, that was honestly that was like a dominant win. It was a unanimous decision. So it looks like he's put everything together. I don't know too much about his opponent. Um,
No, I can't really find anything. Is this his debut in the UFC?
yeah, I think it is going to be his debut.
Okay.
That's why they don't have a picture on it.
Yeah, because I went to scroll down to see if his like past opponents, and he doesn't have one. So I'm gonna assume that it's his might be his debut, Callan Williams.
He's fighting out of
And,
Detroit. And that's the other thing too, man. Whenever it's their debut, you know that the octagon jitters is true.
mhm,
Um,
seen it
so
multiple times.
yeah, so I don't know, man. He's fighting out of Murcielago MMA. So it looks like he has four TKOs, one submission, and four decisions. Um, let me see. His nickname is Chaos, the Ox Fighter, I guess. His last fight was November 27th against Jeremy Holloway, and he won a decision. So I don't see anybody big time on here. Any names that he's fought. So, I mean, I've got to go with Morono, man. The Houston guy has way more experience in the octagon, and he has a tougher opponent so far in my book.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you in terms of if you, like you said, this guy's been beating people up, and then you're gonna put a debuting fighter up against someone who's just beating people up. I'm gonna go with the guy who's beating people up. So, all right, let's go ahead and go. We're gonna head to Trevin Giles taking on Antonio Arroyo and middleweight. Trevin Giles coming off of 2 losses, one to Zach Cummings in 2019 and one to Gerald Meerschaert, born in San Antonio, so I think this is why he's on the card.
Yep.
But I'm checking a look at Antonio Arroyo now. He has a loss against Andre Muniz, and that was his only fight in 2019. So, what do you think about these guys? I'm trying to think. I know Trevin Giles, he kind of put up a fight against Meerschaert, but then Meerschaert came up but was kind of wrestling him the entire time and was looking really good against him.
Well, Trevin Giles has been submitted twice in the last 2 losses. So if this guy, let me see if he's a black belt. He has 4 TKOs and 4 submission victories and 1 decision. Let me see. Regman. Yeah, this guy has some chokes, man. So
Trevin Giles might be in for another some deja vu.
Yeah, and he has a oh, the ref. No, yeah, okay. So yeah, man, I don't know, man. I might pick Antonio Arroyo just because it looks like Trevin Giles hasn't shored up his submission defense, and Arroyo looks like he can submit. So,
all right, let's go on to the main card now, man. We got Houston's own Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, taking on Ilir Latifi. Last fight for Derek Lewis it was a win, but didn't look so good against Blagoy Ivanov. We're excited. I was excited to see the power again. It didn't quite show up. He's coming off of his last 3 fights. He has the win against Ivanov. He has the loss against Dos Santos. The TKO. However, it was also him fighting. It looked like with a torn ACL, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And then the loss against Cormier, which happens to most people.
Most people heavyweight, when they go up against Daniel Cormier, they lose unless your name is Stipe
Miocic.
Miocic. So I don't know, man. I mean, I told you from the beginning when this was announced, to me, this is a get right fight.
Yeah.
For Derek Lewis, they want him to win. The division is weak, is thin, so they want him as a contender because he's a star, man. I mean, no matter what anybody says, he's a star. He knocks people out. He's always out there giving 100%, and he's a great interview afterwards. He has great sound bites. So why wouldn't you want him? Why wouldn't you put him in a position to get back on the right side of the ledger and get some W's, man? So Ilir Latifi is small. He's a 205 pounder. He's going up.
I was just about to say that. Beat me to it, damn it.
The only thing is that he is kind of durable, man. I mean, he's kind of durable. He can take some shots. And he's 36 years old. So I don't know, man. I see this fight. If Derek Lewis can have some semblance of a gas tank, he should win this fight handedly. And Ilir Latifi is on a 2-fight losing streak. But he's losing to top contenders at 205 pounds, which is Volkan Ozdemir. He lost by a knockout.
Yeah.
And then Corey Anderson, he lost by decision. So I mean, he has shown the ability to take punches, but he's also been knocked out by a 205 pounder. But in fairness, Ozdemir does punch like a freaking bull, man. He has a lot of power.
Yeah, but if Derek Lewis is right, Derek Lewis has a lot of power as well. So
that's correct.
We'll see what happens, man. I'm cheering. I'm hoping for Derek Lewis to pull out the win. I'm always gonna be cheering for my fellow Houston brethren. I will say his last fight didn't make me didn't put a lot of confidence in me, but I hope this is, like you said, one of those get right fights. It is a man coming up from 205 to the 225-pound division. Derek Lewis is one of those guys that kind of pushes the limits on the 225 on the heavyweight division. He's one of the bigger guys. That's probably why he has he was able to win a decision against Ngannou, who's someone just as big. Because usually when Ngannou fights someone, he's usually a lot bigger than that. But
yeah, Ngannou has to cut weight, man.
That's insane. I don't. Does Derek Lewis have to cut weight? I'm trying to think of.
So. Yeah. He always comes in at 265, dude. Yeah,
he's probably around like 280 to 290.
Yeah, I would say probably around there, and he cuts weight just to make the 260. But I mean, he's a big dude, man. He's not a small dude. He's a big dude, you know.
He's a big man. All right, so let's go ahead and head on to the featherweight fight. We have Mirsad Bektik taking on Dan Ige. Dan Ige coming off of 2 wins, so he has one against Danny Henry in March.
Ige's coming off of 4 wins.
Well, I just have the 3 for
okay,
or the 2. I just have the 2 for what's called 2019.
So Ige is really exciting, man. He's coming off of 4 wins. He only has 1 decision in those 4 wins. He has, I think, 1 TKO and 2 submissions.
Yeah, and that one against Kevin Aguilar was an exciting fight.
Yeah, he's an exciting fighter right now. He fights out of Honolulu, Hawaii. So he has that fighting background, I guess you could say, from those Hawaiians like Max Holloway and BJ Penn and whatnot. Rachel Ostovich too. I mean, she's a fighter. She's from Hawaii too, so I gotta name her.
You always bring her up.
Hey, you always bring up what's her name?
Who?
Damn it, I forgot who were we talking about last time. Oh, Paige Van Zandt. Paige Van Zandt.
She needs to stay off of my timeline
then. That's her fault, huh?
It's her fault.
So Danny Ige, man, I'm really excited to watch him. I want to see what he can do. He's a big time prospect, and I just want to see more of him.
All right, tell me about Mirsad Bektik, because why do I feel like I've heard about this guy, but I have not seen him fight yet?
Well, he's also an up and comer. He also has a good record, but he did lose in the last fight. That's probably why you remember the name.
Okay, Josh Emmett.
Josh Emmett knocked him out, dude. He knocked him clean out. It was one of the cleanest knockouts you can see in the UFC. It was just smooth the way he did it, I guess. But before that, he had a win against Ricardo Lamas, Godofredo Pepe, and then he also lost against Darren Elkins by a KO, which was punches and a head kick in 2017.
Okay.
So he's when he's come up against these tough guys that have a lot of power and are slick strikers, he's had problems and big problems by getting knocked out. Ige is not that type of guy. He's more of a submission guy, but he does have some power. But I just have Ige on this one, man.
Okay. I'm right there with you. I'm gonna pick Ige in this one. Like I said, exciting fighters. Those Hawaiians know how to bring it. So I'm gonna be cheering. I think I'm gonna be siding with Dan Ige in this one. All right. Next up, another Houston product. We have Juan Adams taking on Justin Tafa. Justin Tafa coming off of a knockout to Yorgan De Castro. Pretty crazy knockout. Was just kind of going forward, and then got caught with a clean punch to the chin. Juan Adams coming off of his loss to Greg Hardy. I will say I listened to, because now I am a big fan now of the of UFC Unfiltered, because I'm a big fan of Matt Serra. I like his energy. But he was recently interviewed on there. He talked about that fight, talked about how he went into that fight a little more emotional than he probably should have been, and basically learning that he's not an emotional fighter, and he needs to kind of keep his cool, go in there just ready to take care of business. I get why he was emotional against Greg Hardy. He mentions that he doesn't like him as a person. I don't like Greg Hardy as a person either. But a
lot of people do, man.
And he was very upset about that decision. However, when you look at it, he wasn't really doing anything. He was kind of just taking punches to the head. It looks like he froze up. He said the punches weren't doing anything, but you also weren't doing anything.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing too, man. Like I like Juan Adams. One, obviously he's from Houston. Two, he's a big guy, and he's also a
wrestling background.
No, I'm talking about his personality, man. He has a big personality. I mean, from when he came out in a romper out there, man. You know, on the post fight show when he won, when he had a victory with him and Tyron Woodley and them going back and forth. It was just he's a lot of fun to watch. The problem is, yes, I understand what he's saying. I would even venture to say that I agree with him as far as they weren't doing anything, but he put the ref in a bad spot,
Mm-hmm.
and the ref by the rules of MMA and his mandate, he has to protect the fighter, and two, if you're not intelligently, and I emphasize the word intelligently, defending yourself, he's gonna stop the fight. And
Yeah,
I guarantee you, he gave him plenty of time and warning, saying, "Get out of there, do something, move." He didn't do it, and so the fight was called off, man. Like, I was very frustrated with that from him. I expected more. Like, I didn't expect him to win. I wanted him to win. I thought he was gonna win, but I did expect more than the showing he had. So this is a big fight for him. He's getting put on the big screen. He's getting put on the big show on the big card. At the close to the top of the card, man. He's the one. Think about this, man. If it's not another championship fight, he's the co-main.
yep,
So it's a big fight. He has a lot of pressure. I hope he doesn't, feel the pressure because he's in his hometown, and he shows up and this guy, Tafa, is not a scrub. I mean, I know he lost to Jorgen de Castro by an ugly knockout because he ran into a punch. But he's not a scrub.
nope,
Nobody at that level is a scrub by any stretch, except some of the guys that they bring in specifically, like there was a heavyweight guy that they brought in a while back that he hadn't fought in like 2 years, but they just wanted to give, I think it was Overeem a win. Um, so he has his work cut out for him. I still think he has the talent to win. I still think he should win this fight, and it'd be a big win in Houston, and it'll get his name back up there. But I mean, he has his work cut out for him, and he can't show up like he showed up for the Greg Hardy fight, because if not, he's gonna lose again.
yeah. Because I mean, thinking about this dude Justin Tafa is the reason why he got caught against Jorgen Castro is because he was going forward. He's being aggressive.
Exactly.
He was trying to fight him, and I think he might have landed a few on Jorgen. Not didn't really hurt him, but he landed a few, let him know that he was there, and then
Hmm.
that's when he went forward, and Jorgen caught him with a punch. And
And, and, and here's the thing, dude. Like, and I'll say about both. I always say this, man. Unless you're a freak or a phenom, you need to learn how to lose. And
Mhm.
both of these guys now have learned how to lose. How to lose. Tafa got knocked out, and I guarantee you, he doesn't want to get knocked out again. Nobody does. Nobody. Everyone feels, from what I see, from what I've read, and the interviews I've seen, everyone feels that they can't get knocked out until they get knocked out. I mean, I think even Stephen Thompson said that he had never been knocked out. He thought he would never get knocked out in his career because he's taking some hard hits and nothing happened. And then lo and behold, Anthony Pettis turns his lights out. So he now knows he can get knocked out. He doesn't want to get knocked out again, so he's gonna do everything possible not to. On the flip side, Juan Adams lost in a very, you know, anticlimactic fashion against Greg Hardy, a guy that he self has said he hates the guy or he doesn't like the guy or whatever, and he lost to him. I mean, that's from an ego standpoint, man. A person you don't like and you've talked all this mess to get the fight, and then you show up on the fight and you don't perform, or you do less than what you know you're capable of. I mean, that's gotta hurt, man. So he knows he can't do that again. He can't put that type of performance out there again, not only for the fans and but for himself.
Mhm.
So you got two guys that have learned how to lose, how to take a loss, and how that feels going up against each other. So this is, I feel like this probably might be a potential fight of the night right there.
I hope so, but I also think that this is one of those ones that if Juan Adams doesn't show up again, if he has another disappointing showing, he might be getting a call from David saying, "Hey, man, I'm gonna give you one more, and you need to prove something." Because, like I said, that was bad. Like that against Greg Hardy was embarrassing. I think like there are so many people like if you're saying, especially when you get up and you say like they weren't hurting you, like then why weren't you moving? Why weren't
Do
you doing
something.
something? Like why were you
Yeah.
just hugging his leg?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that the stay on his mind, and I think he's going to be coming in with, like you said, this could be a fight of the night because they got two guys that are looking to prove something, and I will say they both look good. If say it's one of those fights that goes all 3 rounds, but it's an exciting fight of the night type thing. Both guys might win even in a loss. You know,
The way I see it is the first round is going to be very active and competitive and scrambling and throwing. Second round, it slows down, and the third round, they're both going to be gassed and just try not to get knocked out. I mean, I don't know why. That's how I see it. That's how I see it happening.
and that will not be a fight of the night.
Well, I mean, if the first and second rounds are exciting enough, and that third round they're just so tired, dude. I've seen that happen where it's a fight of the night where the first two rounds, did so
Made
much
up for it.
Yeah, made up for that last round when they were gassed. So like you can relate to while they're gassed and still trying to knock each other's heads off.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this next fight. We have the co-main event of the night.
This fight, before you say anything,
go for it. Go for it.
You've dropped some hints. You made some mentions. You're gonna go crazy or buck wild. I feel like this fight, they've got it in your head, man. They got it in your head.
Who got it in my head?
I don't know. They got it. They got it in your head. You saw the weigh in or the face off. You're like, man, she's way taller than Shevchenko. I don't know.
No, stop. No, I got Shevchenko in this fight. I got Shevchenko in this fight. All right, because Shikagian is gonna try and wrestle her. She's gonna try and stay away from her. She's gonna try and avoid her. What she did against JoJo Calderwood is the reason why Calderwood was so mad about that fight. Shikagian knows that she can't stand up with Shevchenko. Can anyone in that division right now stand up with Shevchenko? But we have to take into account that I don't even really take into account, but just like her last fight wasn't impressive. So I'm really hoping to see an impressive outing from Shevchenko because her last fight against Liz Carmouche was kind of boring. Didn't enjoy it at all. Whereas before that, I think I got spoiled because the first time I saw Shevchenko, she killed Jessica Eye. So I think I got a little.
That was your introduction. You were already at the mountaintop right there.
Yeah, exactly. So I got a little spoiled. I was expecting something along those lines against Carmouche, but Carmouche has hands.
But dude, in fairness, though, man, they couldn't have written a better movie. I mean, she wears a bulletproof vest, to a face-off.
Right? It was amazing. It was great. It was great.
And then Shevchenko just answers, "I don't do body shots, man. I just do head shots. You can wear bulletproof vests all you want." Exactly.
It was great. It was great. I love Shevchenko. I think she's gonna win this fight, regardless of what Shikagian wants to do. If Shikagian wants to take her to the ground, I feel like Shevchenko's not gonna have any problem going to the ground with her. I think Shevchenko is just a way better fighter than she is. She's up there at the top of the division for a reason, has been for a long time, and so I'm taking Shevchenko. I don't really give Shikagian much of a chance in this fight. Do you give her a chance?
I mean, there's always a chance in MMA, man. I've seen crazy stuff happen. I've seen a bunch of crazy stuff, man. But I just feel that the fighters that Shikagian has lost to. So she lost to Jessica Eye. She lost to Liz Carmouche. Those are the last two people that Shevchenko has beaten. And I don't know, man. I just feel that the wins that she's had, some of them have been unanimous, some of them have been split. She's just not there, man. And she's 31 years old. She's 9-2. But I just don't think she has the skill set to beat Valentina Shevchenko. I just don't.
Same here, man. Look, she has all these decisions, man. Like it's something about decision that just kind of and a decision loss to Jessica Eye.
On top of that too, man. We're not. Jessica Eye is not a bad fighter, dude. She's not a bad fighter.
She was really good against what's her name, Lipsky, right?
Mm-hmm. But what did Shevchenko do to her? And I think one thing that we're missing too is, I mean, this is a 5-round fight,
Mm-hmm.
And Shevchenko's fought 5 rounds, 5 hard fought rounds against Carmouche, right? It went 5 rounds.
Yeah, it went 5 rounds.
So I think that's something that is being overlooked a little. I don't think Shikagian can win a decision. So what are her outs? How can she win? I don't think she's gonna knock out Shevchenko.
I don't think she has.
That's what I'm saying. Like
all her wins go to all her wins and losses. I mean, I have to say that too. Like all her wins and losses have come on decision. So she's not getting finished, but she's not finishing anybody at the same time.
Yeah, man. It's just a tough fight for her, man.
Yeah, so Shevchenko's gonna be the reigning champ. Basically gonna be getting ready for I don't know who. I gotta look at the rankings now because I don't even know who is up there at the top of the rankings.
Well,
Now that we're
I
in
think
championships, I gotta start looking at the rankings. So hold
well,
on.
I think maybe Lauren.
Lauren Murphy, if she can
If
finish
she,
Andrea Lee, it'd be good for her.
yeah, if she has a good finish, it
You
would
want
make
to?
sense. It would make sense why they put her on the fight card too.
So yeah, these are the rankings right here. I haven't really done much moving. So you have Chaeyoung 1, Jessica I 2, which we know what would happen if that was a
Mm,
rematch. JoJo Calderwood hasn't had her chance against Shevchenko, I don't think. So maybe she's next,
but
but she might need one more fight. Jennifer Maya lost against Chikagian. Roxanne Modafferi win against Macy Barber, but I don't know if she ain't ready for Shevchenko.
she's not ready for it, man.
Viviane Araujo, Araujo.
Isn't Irene Aldana? Is that one that you want to see?
That's I mean, but she's isn't she the other? She's in bantamweight at Irene Aldana.
Okay, hold on. I
I'm
just
looking
saw
at
her.
flyweight.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's because I
Yeah,
saw her on what when did she fight her then? Because she is that what it is? She go up?
she
Because
might have went up to. No, I think she's been there.
she lost to Shikugian
How long ago?
in 2017.
2017. So she might have went up since then.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
that's probably what happened.
yeah, but and then you have
I mean, the only
Viviana
one.
Araujo, and then Lauren Murphy and Andrea Lee. So maybe this Andrea Lee Lauren Murphy fight might have some kind of result or consequence for this for the next championship fight. But I think after this, Shevchenko might have a little time off, be able to relax a little bit and wait until this division kind of sorts itself out.
I mean, or there's the rematch with 135
Oh, with Nunes,
with
that
Nunez.
I think I'd be interested in that, honestly.
I don't know, man. I just feel that at this point in their careers,
They're
Nunes
both
has
too different.
yeah, Nunes has too much power, man. Nunes has too much power,
It'd be fun to see
and
though.
I don't want to see
You
it.
know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
I think let's do it. Let's do it. I
I
can't
mean,
find anything else for Shevchenko.
I want to see it from a champion versus champion standpoint because they really don't have anybody else to fight, pretty much because they've kind of cleaned out their divisions.
Yeah,
But I just feel that I don't know, man. I mean, Shevchenko would have to throw a perfect game, pretty much, and stick and move and not be there whenever Nunes would come to attack. But that's harder. I
Nunes
mean,
is
that's
such a good
easier
striker.
said than done.
Yeah, Nunes is such a good striker. She's her technique is insane. Like when she was setting up when she set up that kick against Holly Holm, that was amazing. Like even
Mhm.
I can recognize that what she was doing with those leg kicks and going
Yeah.
right up to the head kick and knocking her out. That was. I think Nunes is the best. There's no one that can stand to her. So, but I mean, in terms of that flyweight division, you have to say the same thing about Shevchenko.
I know, man. It's crazy. We got two goats at the same time cleaning out divisions, dude, and one of
Oh,
them's cleaning out two divisions.
oh, and don't worry though. When Whaley beats Joanna Jędrzejczyk, we have another goat. Don't worry.
Oh,
setting
well,
up the fight against Rose Namajunas and
dude,
Whaley.
that'll be the fight, man, right there.
That is the fight next. That's definitely the fight next. All right, let's go to the main event, man. Before we finish this, after we finish this, we'll be jumping into NXT Portland and some wrestling stuff. So don't worry, wrestling fans, we are getting to the wrestling. But let's jump into the main event. Big main event. John Jones, Dominic Reyes, undefeated Dominic Reyes taking on
Undefeated John Jones.
undefeated John Jones. He has a little bit more fights.
Mhm.
So just tell me what you're thinking, man. What are you thinking?
I mean, I just feel like John Jones is gonna win. He always wins. He's the
Handedly?
GOAT. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I feel like this is too early for Reyes, man. Like Reyes can, and maybe that's the thing too. John Jones is gonna humble him and tell him like, "Hey, you're not ready." And I thought he would have learned that from the fight against Volkan Ozdemir because Ozdemir put it on him, and he was lucky to come out of there with the W. And I thought he lost that fight. And then the next fight after that, he fights a middleweight going up to 205 that doesn't have a
Weidman.
chin. Yeah, that doesn't have a chin, and he knocks him out, and he thinks he did something, but I don't see. I just don't see it, man. Like everything that Reyes does, John Jones either invented it or does it better, you know.
Mhm.
And the fight IQ aspect of it too. Like I feel like John Jones might just wrestle him and shut him out and say, okay, there you go. I beat you handedly. I didn't strike with you because I didn't have to. I just wrestled you because I'm a way better wrestler than you, and I just beat you up. And some of the stuff that they're saying about John Jones, like I told you, I don't like John Jones. I think he's still, a bad person overall. Playing a part just to try to be a good person, or he wants to be perceived as a good person. I mean, he said something else recently too about Dominic Reyes, and Dominic Reyes said that's just him. He's just a bad person. So a lot of people see it too, but you
Mhm.
can't deny his skill set and his the
Yeah.
way he fights in the octagon.
Yeah.
And one thing too that I am getting tired of, and it's funny because John Jones is getting tired of it, but every time he beats somebody, they minimize who he beats. They minimize who he beats. Like, he's never
How
fought.
do they minimize Thiago Santos when he beat him?
It's a middleweight.
Middleweight.
So middleweight going up, and he's that was his best fighter he's ever had. So John Jones must have been playing with him, and whatever.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, seriously,
You're
seriously,
you're
that
you're you're giving a backhanded compliment to John Jones, and then you're tearing down Thiago Santos.
that's what I'm saying. Anthony Smith, he was just happy to get out of there with that being finished, and he was also a middleweight going up. And like it's just they minimize a lot of the fighters he's fought, but I mean he's fighting the schedule. That's the schedule that they put in front of him, and he's dominating all
Yeah.
of them. And the thing is like he's dominated for so long, from such a young age, and for so many different fighter generations. Like he's beat a who's who, and he's beating whoever's in the division right now, and he's making them move to other divisions, or he's making them retire, whatever. Like Daniel Cormier is not in the division anymore. Alex Gustafson is retiring, basically, right? Is
Yeah,
what he
he's. I
said.
mean, he said it. That was what, like March.
Yeah, So I mean, he is just, and Dominic Reyes is not there yet, man. Like he hasn't shown anything to me that screams or says, I'm gonna be a challenge to John Jones. And
Yeah.
now and what I'll say, and I'll preface it too, or after I said it, Anthony Smith didn't scream, I'm going to challenge him. The only thing I saw about him was he was long and he was on a little win streak, but his skill set was never an equal to John Jones. So I never thought he was a true threat. Thiago Santos, the only thing I gave him was a puncher's chance because I had never seen him use a fight IQ, and he was also a middleweight going up to heavyweight, which he had. I mean, a middleweight going up to light heavyweight, and he's always had power.
Hmm.
So that's why I give him a puncher's chance. But he outperformed my expectation by the way he fought, and by also being injured with both legs and still gutting it out, and
Yep.
then basically fighting on no legs at the end, which he wasn't able to generate power. So I like to see that fight ran back, but at the same time, he has to throw a perfect game to even have an opportunity to get a win. And Dominic Reyes is the same way. Like I haven't seen him do anything that would say, "Oh, that'll give John Jones problems."
Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
that technique right there. If he throws it 100 times, it's gonna give John Jones problem. Nah, man, I don't see it. I just don't. I can't see it. And the thing is, I don't like John Jones. I don't like him. I like Dominic Reyes. He's a countryman. He's from Mexican American, or what have you. So I want him to win, but it's too. I just think it's too early in his career, and his skill set hasn't rounded out, and he's not going to be able to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think the same thing. I think John Jones is just that good, right? He's just too good. There's not really much you can do. Um, oh, what's up, Jose? Jose is in the chat. Just said he made it right now. Uh, he's one of the guys I met at the Royal Rumble. So what's up? Thank you for joining.
What's going on? Thank you for joining.
Yeah, man, and like you just said, I don't like him either. But unfortunately, he's just that good. Can't really do much about it. I think. I think if Dominic Reyes even wants to stand a chance, he's got to utilize what Thiago Santos was doing, do the leg kicks, keep him at bay with the leg kicks. But even then, like you're looking at maybe a decision, and like you said, you got to kind of beat the champ. You're not gonna. That's champion's advantage. You got to kind of beat the champ.
Well,
So I don't know. I hope that Dominic Reyes gets the win. It'd be nice. It'd shake up the division, make the division a little bit more exciting. But this is the best probably fighter of all time in John.
well, here's what I will say, man, and I don't know if the UFC has conversations with them or maybe on the down low or what, but the Texas State Athletic Commission is not known to be a great commission, and they're not known to have, I mean, even good judges. Usually they have bad judges. So
Maybe Dominic Reyes can get it.
I mean, he might win by default as far as the judges don't know what they're looking at and they give him the fight. So and that's to any fight on this card. If it goes to decision, I'm just telling you right now, Alec, there's gonna be some wacky decisions, man, and just be prepared for that.
That'd be a bad.
Another thing that I want to talk to you about this fight is Jeff Nowitzki, the Golden Snitch, came out yesterday. I think it was yesterday, and he wrote this tweet. And he doesn't tweet a lot, so when he tweets, people pay attention.
Yeah.
And he made this grand tweet. He talked about, John Jones has been tested over 40 times in the last 12 months by 3 different testing organizations: USADA, California State Athletic Commission, and Nevada State Athletic Commission. And that's the most I've ever seen in my entire life or my entire career. That was it. So what was left out of that?
I don't know. You tell me.
He's been tested 42 times in the last 12 months, and each one of those came back negative. He did not say that. He just said he's been tested 42 times in the last 12 months, and that's the most he's ever seen in his life. He didn't say they were clean. He didn't say they were all clean.
Oh my God, we're gonna hear something after the fight.
So I think so, man. I think some stuff's gonna come out after the fight. I think he's still popping for those picograms.
Is this when is Dana never gonna say like, okay, this is enough?
No, he's not. That's his goat.
You want
goat champion.
Like you want to be like legitimized in certain parts, but you continue. I don't get it, man. Like
I mean, this
is like Cal McNair. Is Cal McNair in the UFC?
Basically, they're interchangeable. It's
Jesus
just
Christ.
I feel like Dana White puts on a mustache, a handlebar mustache, and some hair, and then he's Cal McNair, and vice versa. He just takes it off, and he's Dana White. I don't know, man. It's just there's a lot going on with his picograms, and I'm pretty sure he's still popping for it, man. And that just tells me like, come on, man, we're not dumb, dude. Like he has to be continuing to use it, maybe just at a lower dosage.
Yeah, the thing is, he doesn't even need it. Like whatever advantage he's trying to get, he doesn't even need it.
It's a psychological thing, man, and that's the thing that we underestimate too. Maybe he needs a psychological boost to know that he's on something, and he won the championship when he was on something, when they weren't able to find it or they weren't testing for that, or he was able to beat it. And maybe and this is the theory going on around that he was on it and then he got off of it for the Gus fight, and that Gus fight
almost beat him.
That's the hardest fight he's ever had. And then after that, he was like, "Okay, I can't win without it. Even though this guy's is the worst matchup possible for me, I can't win without it. So
yeah, all right, that's unfortunate, man. It's mostly unfortunate. Like if he gets popped out, I kind of see it coming. Like that's why I don't really take his fight seriously. I guess is because like he's probably on something. But like just the fact that he's allowed to fight over and over and over again. But if this was somebody else, if this was I don't know, Weili Zhang getting popped all the time, she'd be stripped and all that other stuff. Or if this was let's say another one, Say this was like Tyron Woodley at the time when Dana hated him.
Yeah.
He would have
He's gone.
taken that title from him so fast.
We are cutting Tyron Woodley for picograms.
Same thing with Mighty Mouse. If Mighty Mouse had ever got popped, that would have been
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, they're never fighting in the UFC again. We're scrubbing them from the record book.
How dare they disrespect the sport like that? Meanwhile, you got John Jones over here doing it over and over again.
John Jones is setting records in and out of the octagon. Out of the octagon for how many consecutive picograms he's going to be popped for.
All right, let's move on. Let's go on to the next topic that we have, the wrestling portion. So next Sunday, is it Sunday?
This Sunday coming up or next Sunday coming up?
February 16th.
Okay, so 2 Sundays from now.
2 Sundays from now. So not this upcoming Sunday, but the Sunday after. We have NXT TakeOver Portland. So we still have 2 more weeks of NXT television. Remember that thing I said about Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley?
Yes.
Well, last night, Charlotte Flair was talking about I've been Raw Women's Champion. I've beat Becky Lynch before. I've been Raw. He said I've held the SmackDown Championship multiple times. I beat Bayley before, but she's like, but I like gold. I want more of it. And then all of a sudden, you hear Rhea Ripley's music.
Oh,
come out, tells her, you beat Becky, you beat Bayley, but you've never beat me. And she's like, oh wait, I've beat you.
Did that really happen, dude?
That happened. Yes, that happened on Monday Night Raw. Yes, we talked about it. Monday Night Raw.
So what you're saying is,
I'm a genius.
That the writers from the WWE NXT are listening to our podcast as we speak.
I think so. And
they're getting all of our ideas and writing it into the story.
That's the only explanation. So the reason why I'm excited is because, one, she mentioned that Rhea Ripley pinned Charlotte Flair right before Survivor Series. She got the pinfall on her. And now it's come out that tomorrow night, Charlotte Flair is going to be at NXT to answer the challenge. She'll say whether she's going to accept the challenge or not. And I'm just saying, if the WWE doesn't let this happen, you guys are idiots. This is what
you guys are idiots, and we're never giving you any more for free.
No more free material. I'm done with it.
We gave you Cyborg on a platter, and you didn't take it,
dude. The Cyborg one was genius, and they just let it go away. Now Cyborg's champion over there in Bellator. Congrats, Cyborg. But so. The reason why they'd be stupid, the WWE be stupid not to do this, is because of the fact that before Charlotte even mentioned anything about NXT, they were cheering for Rhea. That's Raw, dude. Like, that's Monday Night Raw cheering for the NXT Women's Champion. That never happened. That hasn't happened since the 4 Horsewomen, I don't think. Like, that has not happened since Becky, Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley.
She's a star, man.
Rhea is a freaking star, and if she's not main eventing WrestleMania, they're missing out on it. Which would you rather have, Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, or Drew McIntyre and Brock? Both be great matches, I think.
I was like, man, that's actually
a great match. I wasn't throwing out Brock for like a joke answer. Like, those are going to be
those would be two really good. But I would probably have Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, in my opinion.
You could have Brock and Drew like halfway through the show. Like probably around like midway point where people are starting to get really excited, and then you boom, here's a main event for you.
Yeah, in the middle, and you think that'd be like like you're basically throwing a top of the card match in the middle, and you're like, damn, what's up there? You know, like what are we building to? You know,
don't forget last year at WrestleMania, the Brock and Seth match was immediate. Like that was the first match on the card. As soon as the main card started, as soon as the kickoff show was over and the main card started, boom, got Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. So
right in your face.
Brock's willing to do it. It probably means that he gets to go home earlier. That's probably why he can go home earlier. But I'm excited for that. So hopefully,
why are you talking about your favorite wrestler like that,
man?
Stop it. You know he's changed. Changed.
Stop it. All right.
You know he's a good champion now.
All right, stop it. All right, let's go. Let's go into NXT TakeOver Portland. This is a really stacked card. All All right, so right off the bat, I don't know if this is in the order. This might be like subject to change, but I'm gonna go in the order that it is here on Wikipedia, and because sometimes it is pretty accurate. So the first match that I have right here in a street fight, we got Dakota Kai taking on Tegan Knox. Street fight. So I don't know if you remember, Dakota Kai turned on Tegan Knox at NXT Takeover War Game.
I think you called that too, didn't you?
I said that they were going to do it, but I didn't want them to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to. I feel like they were missing an opportunity with Dakota Kai as a face, but Dakota Kai as a heel has been really good. The only problem is she hasn't been winning. She hasn't been winning, and that's a problem. So I am going to pick Tegan Knox in this match. I mean, not Tegan Knox. Sorry, I'm going to pick Dakota Kai in this match. I think Dakota Kai needs a win.
She needs it. Yeah, I was going to say she needs it.
I think she needs a win bad. I can see maybe somebody helping her out, maybe. Mercedes Martinez just came back to NXT. I don't know if they're gonna push her as a face or a heel or something else. I don't know, man. I'm about to go to the restroom in my pants, so I'll be right back. Vamp a little bit. Vamp.
I'm gonna try, man, but you know, let me look up the bouts that are coming for NXT Portland to see where he left off at. See here. All right. If anybody in the chat would like to have any question answered, now would be a pretty good time. Let me see. Okay, so we left off at Dakota Kai versus Tegan Knox in a street fight. After that, you're gonna have Adam Cole versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship in a singles match. You see. Oh man, we have some good fights. We have some good matches on here. We have Undisputed Era. It's gonna fight the Broserweights, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. Is it Broserweights or Bruiserweights? And then you got Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano, and then ending with Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. So I'm definitely gonna go into it more with Alec. I just went over the order, but I definitely want to go obviously more in depth in it with you.
Yeah.
So I left off at the Adam Cole versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship.
Ooh, yeah.
That's the second fight of the main event, right?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, dude.
Isn't that crazy? That might be the second match on the card. Who knows? I don't think it will be. I think they'll probably do the second match. Will probably be, probably Undisputed Era versus the Broserweights.
That's what is it? Broserweights?
It's Broserweights because.
Bro, yeah.
The Bruiserweight and then the Bro.
Yeah.
The original Bro, the Broserweights, and yeah. So, anyways. Jose, go ahead and let me know what you were saying was a nice point. Just so I can.
I think he was talking about the which one would you rather see?
About the where to put the matches on WrestleMania,
and also which one would you rather see, the Brock or the
for the main event?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would rather have Charlotte and Rhea. I think that match would tear the place down, man. If anything, the only reason I wouldn't want it to main event is because a lot of times, especially recently, the crowd is dead by the end just because they're so burnt out.
Really?
It's such a long show, man. Like, I haven't been to a WrestleMania, but it's so long. Like,
what time does it start? You said it starts early, right?
It starts at the kickoff show starts around 4. And the main card might start at 5. They might start earlier, dude. I think actually, you know what? I think the last 2 were started at 3.
God, dude. And it ends at what?
And it went all the way to 11.
Damn, that's a long day, man.
That's too long, man. Oh, thank you. So Jose was saying over me saying the crowd chanting Rhea, and that hasn't happened since the 4 Horsewomen.
Yeah, that is a good point.
The NXT women's kind of gone under the radar, but Rhea is this one that's kind of breaking the mold, I think. And I thought Shayna was going to be that one that did that, but it seems like Rhea is the one that's doing that. Which, to my surprise, dude, she's 23 years old.
Yeah, she's 23. October 11th, 1996. from Adelaide, Australia.
Yeah, man. She can talk. She's a badass. She's a legit badass. The good thing about her gimmick is she doesn't really change her gimmick. It just kind of depends on who she's working with at the time. If she's a heel or a face. So like when she first started, she was like her persona her gimmick when she first started in WWE, it was at the Mae Young Classic, not and the first Mae Young Classic, and she was just kind of this happy go lucky type person. And then uh, the next year she kind of revamped herself. Like she kind of changed up, got this kind of she's a mosh pit. They called her the mosh pit kid, which was a horrible name.
Jose, she's a lot more successful than a lot of people.
Yeah,
you know,
I didn't even feel that
you know,
Mahomes.
yeah, I mean,
Like,
at
this dude,
23, she's at the top of the game. You know,
not just top of the game, but like realizing like people realizing she is gonna she's gonna be the face of the women's division in WWE for a very long time. I honestly
yep.
think that. I think she's gonna be the face for a very long time. If she doesn't main event WrestleMania this year, she will eventually main event WrestleMania. That's without a doubt. He also said that he wants Bianca Belair to win, which I disagree with. I think I like Bianca Belair, but I don't gravitate towards her as much. But anyways, let's go back to this card in terms of all right. So we had Adam Cole versus Tommaso Ciampa. I'm a huge Tommaso Ciampa fan. I think I'm pulling for Tommaso in this one. Tommaso never officially lost his title. He got hurt, had to vacate the title, so he wants Goldie to come home. That's what he named the belt, Goldie. I think one of my favorite things about his character is the way he holds the championship belt is like it's a baby. It's the most important thing to him. He holds it like this, or
his precious.
yes. When he's like walking down when he walks down the aisle with the championship, he holds it to his ear like it's talking to him, and then he like puts it down. And he'll talk to it, and it's such a good character. And now it's a face character, so I mean it's even better. I'm cheering for Tommaso. I think the Undisputed Era are going to be losing all of the gold. So Roderick Strong has already lost the North American title. He lost the North American title to Keith Lee. So that was the first of the Undisputed Era losing their gold because the prophecy became fulfilled. But the thing about prophecies is they can't stay that way forever. So they can't have the gold forever. I think this is the night that the Undisputed Era are going to be at their lowest. They're going to lose all the gold. Tommaso Ciampa wins this match. And then I'll say the same thing for the Undisputed Era versus the Broserweights. I think the Broserweights win it, even though I don't really want to. I don't like it when two superstars kind of get put together and start dominating. It kind of defeats the purpose of like why is this tag team who's been working together for such a long time all of a sudden beaten. They've beaten all these other tag teams that are established, have been tag teams for a long time, and these two guys just kind of come together. And it literally just happened that way. That's the way Matt Riddle says that he went to Pete Dunne and was like, "Hey, Dusty Rhodes Classic," and he was like, "You in?" And Pete Dunne just went,
"Okay."
And
that's the most Matt Riddle way to do it.
Yeah, then Matt Riddle was like, "Yeah," like that. I love Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's
I don't know. Like I get what you're saying, man, but like sometimes they just have instant heat, instant credibility, instant chemistry, and they can just come in and bulldoze.
Absolutely. Let's look at Radar KO, Edge and Randy Orton. Yeah. They were just thrown together, and that's one of my favorite tag teams of all time.
That's what I'm saying. Like I guess sometimes they're just trying to catch lightning in a bottle, maybe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it works. I'm hoping this one works. Those I like those two guys.
Me too. I do too. So, I think they're because they have that like kind of MMA type back. Like they had those type moves, very much joint manipulation. Attacking the joints, attacking the digits. Like what's his name goes after the hands, and now they're both stomping on their hands. It's great. I think, and the thing is, like, because my problem sometimes with like teams that get thrown together, like two guys that get just thrown together, they don't make the effort to come up with tag team moves, and I think that's what sets apart tag teams from single superstars.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
You work with each other. You have the move set. Look at Edge and Christian. I'm bringing up Edge again. Edge and Christian actually didn't have a lot of like tag team moves. They had like they didn't have a tag team finisher. I think you need to have a tag team finisher, and the tag team finisher the Broserweights have is pretty cool. It's like a go to sleep where he gets him on his shoulders and he throws him. But when he throws him, so he throws him and you're supposed to knee him in the face. Like Matt Riddle knees him in the face, and what Pete Dunne does then is at the same time he kicks him in the head, kicks him on the other side of the head, and it's like it's supposed to be like a double knockout type thing. So
you ain't getting from that. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, they need to have those moves, but I think they also need to have other stuff that they do besides just a finisher, together, like a signature to make them a legit, tag team.
Yeah,
and sometime it takes them, having a lot of matches together. But sometimes it might be just right off the bat, man, So
yeah, definitely. I will say that I love how because everyone knows that Matt Riddle's a pothead.
Yeah.
That there was one point where somebody in the interview said blunt. They weren't talking about a blunt. They were just like, "Oh, let me be blunt." And then Matt Riddle, they all started going, bro. And Matt Riddle was like, after he says blunt, Matt Riddle was like,
yeah. Where did you say? Did you say what? Where's it at?
That man's a national treasure. I love Matt Riddle to death. I'm not gonna lie. That man is gonna be a favorite of mine for a long time. And I learned about him through wrestling. I didn't know anything about him about MMA until like before he got signed, and I was like, oh wow, like I like this guy a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna pick the Broserweights to win the championships here. All right, next up, we have Finn Balor taking on Johnny Gargano. This is kind of a grudge match type thing. Yes, Jose, like Bobby and Dolph. I didn't like them being put together because they're kind of like movesets. They don't really do much together. They just kind of are on the same team. Now, when it was what's his name? Like Bobby Roode and Chad Gable had a great moveset together. I think, and Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre when they were teamed up had a pretty good moveset. But Bobby Roode and Dolph just haven't got it together yet. All right, Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano in a regular match. Johnny Gargano, Finn Balor kind of turned heel on Johnny Gargano. It looked like Tommaso, Johnny Gargano, and Adam Cole and Finn Balor were gonna team up against the Undisputed Era. But then Finn Balor attacked Johnny Gargano, turning heel effectively, and kind of put him on the shelf for a little bit. I think he had like a minor injury, nothing too serious. He came back within a month. But this match was actually supposed to happen in November. They were supposed to have a match in November, but because of the injury, Finn Balor took on Matt Riddle instead. This is actually kind of hard because it would depend on what happens with that NXT Championship, or it depends on what happens with this. Is what will happen with the NXT Championship.
Maybe that's why it's first or second.
Maybe because, say if Adam Cole wins, I think Gargano will win. But if Tommaso wins, I think Finn Balor will win, because I don't think, even though they always put on great matches, I don't think we need Tommaso versus Gargano again for a while. They've done it so many times, and it doesn't have the same heat that it had before, just in terms of they're not feuding with each other anymore.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense. You'd have to build that again.
So if Adam Cole's gonna win, I say give it to Gargano. Let Gargano probably go after the title. Go after the NXT title, because now that I would say the top guys right now are Finn, Johnny, Tommaso, at least underneath the champion. And I would have said, Matt Riddle and Keith Lee. Keith Lee's the North American champion. I think that Matt Riddle's going to be winning the tag team championship. So it all really comes down to those three guys: Tommaso, Gargano, and Balor. So. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Maybe something happens where we get a fatal four-way at TakeOver. I think it's going to be TakeOver Tampa, because it's going to be WrestleMania weekend. The next one, I think.
The next TakeOver.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have the NXT. Oh, go ahead.
This is the last one, right?
Yeah, last one.
Well, hold on. Before you do that, real quick, I wanted to talk about something. But this is part of the business of the NXT and how Triple H continues to do, I guess, out of the box stuff. So he announced that Poppy is going to be performing.
Bro, Poppy,
Yeah,
she's become like a staple of NXT now.
that's what I'm saying.
She's had a couple performance, like a couple, like her song. What was that song called? I think it's called like
Um,
XX or something. That was actually because I guess
look,
Poppy at one point Poppy goes like metal, and it's
so
actually a really good song.
Feel the Crown and Anything Like Me um, are singles that she's going to be singing at Takeover, which are the theme songs for the event.
Yeah, so they've had like a pretty good thing with Poppy going, and I enjoy it a lot. Feel the Crown is what you said.
And the other one is Anything Like Me.
Let me see. So the one what is that damn song? I'm trying to think of what that damn song was. That was the song also for. Let me see.
I
Yeah, it's
disagree
called
with.
X.
Yeah.
It was called X, and it was like the first like metal. I think it was like the first like heavy metal song that she came out with. And he said, "Yeah, I said I disagree in Scary Mass." So, dude, yeah, Poppy's like a staple of NXT now. She comes in all the time and performs, and she's great. I think she's fantastic. I like what she does with it. She kind of turns it around on itself.
And that's something different from the WWE experience, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, but that's what NXT's always done. They kind of gone different with their music. So like you'll have for like the official song, it'll be some band I've never heard of. That's like I guess a popular band for the regular pay per views. But then like for NXT pay per views, you got like Bring Me the Horizon, Crown the Empire. They'll have Slipknot, like not bring them in, but that'll be the official theme song of the event. Their theme song is literally a metal song of like singing the intro. So yeah, and then Poppy's great. Like I said, I like how she turns the whole metal thing on its side.
It's pretty dope, man.
Like you got to go listen. Have you listened to her?
No, I had no idea.
Her metal stuff is really good. Like because she still does her like singing thing, but she's got metal musicians like playing for
In the
her.
background.
Yeah, you gotta listen to X is the one that I think if you don't like X, then you might not like her other music. But X is the one that will kind of get you into it because it has this little like soft side, and it turns. It legit turns, so it's really good. All right, so last match: Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for the NXT Women's Title. Actually, now it's just the NXT title. They're not putting the women's on it anymore. They're just calling it the NXT title, NXT Championship. They're trying to go for the UFC thing,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't differentiate whenever Buffer says it. He just says the flyweight division or the bantamweight division. So I think they're trying to go for the same thing. He doesn't say women's. He says this next. He's like this fight is for the flyweight championship of the world type thing. He doesn't say women's. Because I was trying to listen. I was like, he doesn't say women's, does he?
No.
No, he just says.
I'm trying. Yeah.
He just says, "Oh, and the flyweight division." He doesn't say women, so I guess that's what NXT is trying to do too. So it is just the NXT Championship now. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. It's gonna be a good match. These two women are strong. Both. I think Bianca Belair is probably the strongest woman in NXT at the moment. I don't hang on to Bianca Belair as much as most people do. It's one of those things where like I know she's a great wrestler. I know that she's athletic. I know she's talented, but I don't connect with the character. I don't care for the character. So, and people will probably call me crazy. I know Jose's probably going to call me crazy right now, but yeah, I just don't care. Or she hasn't done it for me yet. I'm not saying she can't ever get there. I just don't think she's gotten there yet. So I think Rhea, obviously Rhea's going to pull it out, I think, because we're getting Rhea and Charlotte. We got to get Rhea and Charlotte at WrestleMania, right? Come on.
We have to, man. We have to. That's we're starting a petition.
Although Jose will vouch for this, I think they might have they were I think they were trying to set up a Bianca Charlotte thing at the Royal Rumble. So maybe I don't know.
Either way, I mean, it's.
I'd be down for it regardless.
Yeah, it's what we talked about, you know.
Fresh matchups.
I like it.
No, that's all I look for in wrestling is some fresh matchups. All right, man. That's the end, man. I will say if you have a chance, if you have Hulu, check out Monday Night Raw from last night. It was a great card. It was a great show. I think that Randy Orton, when he's the dude, just watch that. If you can just watch that opening, watch what he does with the crowd, like the crowd work he does. He's so good at that. Like he's literally just he's not saying anything. The entire crowd is booing him. He looks like he's upset about what he did last week when he attacked Edge. He looks like he regrets it, but it's so crazy, man. Like you have to check it out. Check that out. Also, Ruby Riott returned, which I've raved about her since we've been doing this show. I've always raved about Ruby Riott. Now that she's back after 9 months out. I'm excited to see her back. She's coming back as a heel. Is exactly how I want her to come back. So I'm excited. She attacked her best friend Liv Morgan last night. It was great.
I do have Hulu. I have it through my my Sprint, whatever contract that they give it to us for free or whatever. So I'll definitely check it out.
So since you don't have like well, actually Raw and SmackDown you can't really watch on WWE Network anyways, but like NXT, I know they put NXT on Hulu the day after they put Raw and SmackDown. Yeah, they have Raw and SmackDown on there the day after. So that's how I watch it because I don't always watch it live.
I'll definitely be checking it out now that I know.
All right. Let's go ahead and head out, man. Good show, I think. We got through a lot of stuff today. A lot of football talk, actually.
A lot of football. We threw in some movies, some Bad Boys. We threw in UFC here in Houston, and then obviously the awesome NXT that's coming up as well.
All right, so let everybody know where they can find you, man.
You'll find me at The Real Jesus on Twitter, and that's spelled JEEZUS. For my hot takes and sometimes some political stuff, but I try to stay off of that for the most part because it's not PC, as they say. But I mean, you can find me on there. I'm always down to have some conversations and to debate because nobody likes to debate online. But man, I love talking MMA. I love talking movies. I love talking shows. Which again, Alec, dude, The Outsider, man, on HBO, man. You gotta watch it, dude. You gotta check it out, man. This last episode, I was like, oh man, such a good episode. Such a good episode.
All right, I think that's one I can get my girl into.
Oh yeah, dude. There's a lot of thriller / horror / detective work in it. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's her shit. All right, you can find me at Alec Miller 0423 right there. You can also find me on various things on Facebook in terms of trivia leagues. I'm in a couple trivia leagues. I am the Multiplex Entertainment TV trivia champion.
Oh, nice, man! Congrats, man!
I'm gonna be scouting a lot of the competition because there's a couple matches coming up soon, and then I'm trying to get into other matches. But also, also make sure you go to the Patreon link in the description down below. If you can, please subscribe. It will help us get further into doing more in this space, eventually making more podcasts, but we need help. So if you can help us with getting the equipment that we need for that, that'd be fantastic. Like I said, there's a $1 tier, a $3 tier, and a $5 tier. $1 tier, basically simple access to the Patreon. $3 tier is a shout out every week or every month. Sorry, every month you get a shout out of your choosing. And then you have the $5 tier, which is every week you have to ask a question. If you're the only one. Right now we have one person at the $5 tier. So you can get in that mix of that rotation of getting a question asked. So make sure you guys do that. Like and subscribe this. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe. I keep forgetting to say that. Subscribe to the channel. This channel's gonna be getting kind of a makeover kind of soon. Where it's going to be strictly armbars and suplexes stuff. And then also, if you're in the Houston area and you're going to be and you want to watch the UFC fight, I think I'm going to be at Little Woodrow's that night to watch the fight. So go hang out. We can go hang out, have a couple drinks, and watch the fight. It'll be a great time. So, all right, guys. We will see you guys later.
AMF.
In broadcast.